one of the two slideshows and then given the anesthetic propofol. What scientists discovered is that patients who were asked to recall the stories a day later could not remember either of them. So DBL Nation, would you take something to erase a bad memory, huh?
All right, let's get to these comments. Troy from Facebook says, I don't even know what to think of this. What if something went wrong and they accidentally erased someone's entire memory?
Oh, God.
Will people go under the knife? People have elective surgery. Something could go wrong with that at all times. But I just look at it like this for me personally. There have been times in my life where some fear from childhood has brought anxiety to me, and I didn't go forward and push through. So if there was something like that, I'm okay with it. But then I guess it's a case-by-case matter.
Case by case.
Yeah. This is so Eternal sunshine of the spotless mind, is it? Pierce from Facebook says, this would be a really positive move. I can see this becoming a regular part of therapy for people with PTSD. That was Pierce, the exact place I went. If you have a PTSD, that memory is holding you back from literally achieving things in life. Could this help? I also read into this a little bit, and the doctors are interested in actually erasing the craving for addiction. So drugs, alcohol, they can literally change your idea of going to the bar and shift your memories. Now, is that bioethically okay? I don't know, but for PTSD, I would want to do everything I could.
A lot of people self-medicate because of the traumatic experience.
Very good point.
If you're erasing the traumatic experience, is that...
Stop the addiction, negate the addiction. Yeah.
Well, Annie from Facebook says, this whole idea is crazy. We should not be messing with people's brains. That's a dangerous game. Yeah, it's kind of like playing God. Yeah. I think it depends on how much the memory affects your well-being. I guess is the best way I can say it. But I just thought about something. When you said propofol is used for colonoscopies to knock you out. Yeah. It's also what Michael Jackson, I believe,
a lot of people pat.
Yep.
Yeah,
and if you think about that in the memory altering part of it.
That's scary.
I know.
That's very scary. That's an interesting point. And Alexandria from YouTube says this could potentially be a breakthrough for people dealing with trauma and disturbing experiences. I'm all for it. I tend to agree with Brandon. I think we got to take it as a case-by-case basis. Yeah. I mean, I know it sounds scary to play God, but I mean, can you imagine losing a child or it's better than someone being addicted for the rest of their lives, like you said, to a substance. I know.
The risk versus the reward.
If you're using it for the right thing, not I don't want this memory of my boyfriend. No, not something like that, but for PTSD or something traumatic.
Although sometimes traumatic experiences like losing a child, it introduces a whole new chapter to that parent's life of activism.
Exactly.
Right? Of reform.
Exactly. But it depends on the parent.
Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Right. But if you don't want that kind of activism, maybe.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a great question. Great conversation. Right now, Robert Kraft is trying to keep his prostitution case under wraps. So let's get to Raquel Villanueva. She has the news at the moment.
Well, Sam, right now, Patriots owner Robert Kraft wants to make sure none of the police videos in the alleged prostitution scandal see the light of day. His lawyers have filed a motion to stop the public release of surveillance videos from the Florida spa. This after rejecting a plea deal which would have allowed him to avoid prosecution if he met certain conditions. He plans to fight the solicitation charges and denies any illegal activity. If he is convicted, he could face up to a year in jail.
Oh, God.
Wow. Thank you, Raquel. Coming up on DBL, an edgy new teen take on the teen detective Nancy Drew. We'll meet the star next on DBL.
Comment of the day so far, Ashley Latanya Bagley Coleman from Facebook. They better leave that memory stuff where it's at. I wouldn't trust that. That's the other thing. When you go into the brain, memory is selective, memory is fluid, is in like a rock concrete thing. What are you else messing with? If I have to erase Jeff from my memory because I really can't stand him, will I erase part of DBL? Would it all go away? Does it connect to other things? Remember, also memory deals with sounds, with smells, with vision. So memory, when they look at the brain in the MRI, isn't in one spot. It's all over. So if you're messing with that, that's a lot of the brain that you're sort of messing with. I'm not saying it's bad, but Kelly thinks it's worth it. Tell me why.
I just think it's worth it. If you have some traumatic, event in your life that happened, whether you were sexually abused or
something that isn't good in any way,
something that can never be good.
Right.
I think it's okay to erase it. And I know that makes you who you are, but you're already that person. So what would it hurt to erase that terrible, awful memory?
And they are dealing with things like, I don't know if you guys know this, but it's called microdosing. Have you heard of this?
Where you do for the PTSD, for like Molly and stuff?
It's like you do ecstasy, Molly. There's also a little bit of ketamine.
Okay,
and you do it in the most micro of doses, but it tends to change, doesn't erase the memory.
But it changes
the brain memory connected to the memory. So that has been going on. Again, people are always like ketamine, but if you're suffering, you would do
something awful.
anything.
You would do anything.
And veterans, again, we're losing 20 a day from suicide. So let's make sure we hear that part of it, but also, like, don't touch my brain, as Ashley said. Like, that's so scary as well.
It is scary. It's definitely scary.
Rainey says, wondering how propofol helps addiction when itself is addictive. Again, it's done under a very, very standard thing, and then you leave. You don't get propofol to go. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Welcome back to DBL. Nancy Drew has made an unwavering impression on girls and women since the 1930s, proving that she's a feminist icon. Now, she's back with a little 21st century charm. I talked to the star of the latest installment, Sophia Lillis, in today's Chatting with the Stars. Sophia, welcome to DBL. So happy to have you on. The character Nancy Drew starred in the Hardy Boys' Nancy Drew Mysteries during the 70s. She was rebooted in the 80s and most recently updated in the Girl Detective series. So I want to know, how do you think she's changed throughout the years?
I feel like this movie is kind of remembrance of Nancy Drew for the newer generation. In order for kids to kind of see themselves in Nancy Drew, you kind of have to have a more modern take on her. I think Nancy Drew kind of has this responsibility to be this role model for these kids who watch this headstrong girl solving mysteries.
The way your brain works is so cool.
That's so cool. And you're 17 and Nancy Drew has been around since the 1930s. So why do you think Nancy is such an icon to girls and women like Oprah, Barbara Walters, Laura Bush? I mean, how does that make you feel to play such a beloved figure?
It's a little stressful. Everyone looks up to Nancy Drew. She's such an independent character. She does what she wants and kind of lives her life she wants to live her life. It's really inspiring, and I guess that's why people really look up to her. So kind of being that girl is a little bit, has a little bit of responsibility.
It's a good responsibility.
Yeah, a good responsibility.
And I need to know, were you a fan of the books before the movie?
I've heard of Nancy Drew, but I never actually read any of the books. I never really got into the Nancy Drew books until, I heard about this project.
And many of us know you from the remake of Stephen King's It. So I want to know, what was it like playing a character from a story with such a huge fan base?
I knew there was a fan base, but I didn't know how big it was until the movie came out. It was very surprising for me, very shocking. I didn't know what an impact this movie has.
You can catch Nancy Drew and The Hidden Staircase in theatres. Sophia, thank you again for chatting with us.
Yes, thank you.
We'll be right back.
Ice-T, welcome to Daily Blast Live. How are you feeling this morning?
What's up, Al? What's happening, baby? I'm good.
How does somebody go from releasing the first hip-hop album with the parental advisory warning sticker to now playing a hard-nosed detective on SVU?
I have no idea. I mean, this is the furthest away from my life that I thought. I mean, you got to remember, before I started making those records, I thought I was just going to be in the streets my whole life. I thought, my life was going to be some arch criminal that was always going to, be one step ahead of the cops. Now here I am later on in life playing the police. I can say I had a lot of experience dealing with the police firsthand, but, I mean, that's where one of my mottos come in. I say you don't guide life, you ride life.
We've been talking about SVU, obviously, and I'm about to say this, but I can't believe it, but I guess it does make sense. The show's been on for 20 seasons. Will there be a 21st season, and are you just going to ride this out until it ends?
Yeah, I'm black. I don't jump off a ship while it's still floating, Jack. You dig? I'm going to be on it till the wheels fall off. I mean, if we get one more, we haven't been officially picked up, but when we do get picked up, we'll stay positive. We will have broken the longest-running television show drama in history of television.
Now, one of my favorite parts of SVU is your friendship with Mariska Hargitay, or Detective Olivia Benson, as everybody knows her. Can you tell us one surprising fact about her that our fans like me wouldn't know?
Mariska's real crazy. Like, I mean, she acts real tough on the show, but she's funny. She loves to act like she can rap. She dances around. She could be a comedian.
Your true crime show, In Ice Cold Blood, is back for a second season. Tell me, what got you into true crime? Because for real, it was my girl. Like, that's what you do on in the afternoons on the Sunday, is just watch City Confidential straight. So how did you get into it?
Absolutely the same way. Coco was, I'm not lying. Coco watched Snap. So Snap, people out there, your listeners or your viewers know, Snap, if they don't know, it's a show about women killing their husbands. So I advise any guy, if your wife is watching that show, watch it with her. Like, look over, check her temperature every once in a while. Oh, is that when you think it's okay, you know? And that's how it started. And then we met the people from Oxygen, and they said, Ice, you would be an excellent person to host one of our shows. And I said, cool. So I said, you know, if I get to help create it, and so that's why I'm executive producer, and we based it off of sex, money, murder, and lust. And I wanted to hit it from a different angle, not from the cops' angle, but from how diabolical people are and how cold-blooded people could be, and what made them think that murder is a solution, like you're gonna get away with it. I'm from the streets. I grew up around a lot of tough people, but never in any of my conversations did anybody say, we'll just kill them.
Everybody, that's the man, the legend, Ice-T. Thank you for joining us on Daily Blast Live. For more of Ice-T, catch new episodes of In Ice Cold Blood on Monday on the Oxygen channel. Thank you. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you.
Welcome back to DBL. A surprising scene lit up the sky over Los Angeles yesterday evening. People wondered what was flying over Tinseltown. Was it an alien invasion, a meteor, something worse? Well, it turns out the bright light was just a pair of wingsuit jumpers, as you can clearly see in this video, taken from a different angle. Wow. Can you imagine? So cool, though.
I would have immediately been like, pack your long underwear, we're gonna get here.
I thought that was Robert Kraft's NFL legacy fall.
That was good. Burn. That was good.
But what would have happened? Because that was for Red Bull. What would have happened if they would have hit someone and they would have died or something?
I'm sure they cleared the airspace.
Oh, you know they had
FAA was involved. Yeah, exactly. A huge loss.
Do you believe in extraterrestrials? Yes or no?
I do. I believe it. Yes.
I know you
do.
Do you? To some degree.
Do you believe that there's life out there?
Somewhere.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Got it.
Here
All right.
comes the man in black.
All right, before we go, a quick reminder that today is World Puppetry Day, and in honor of the occasion, we do have a little friend in the studio. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Yeah.
That's my
Howdy doody.
Howdy doody.